It's now or never for Rob Refsnyder.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Friday, June 19th, 2026. Happy Juneteenth. My name is Titan Gonzalez, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Colby Patnode. This episode is brought to you by Odoo. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/LOCKEDON. It's Fan Fiction Friday, the show where you submit your Mariners trade ideas, and we grade them on the 20/80 scale based on creativity, uniqueness, and of course, if we think they make sense for every club involved. Now, we'll get to your trades a little later on, but we start with the Mariners' upcoming series against the Red Sox. And as I said at the tail end of yesterday's show, Boston has been terrible this year. They are the second worst team in all of baseball by record, but they are bringing the Mariners' greatest kryptonite to town. They'll be rolling out 3 consecutive lefties, very good lefties too, out of their rotation. So while Luke Raley might finally be available again, not necessarily sure how much we're actually going to see of him this week, and I'm not sure how much we're going to see of Julio. I do know, however, that we are probably going to see a lot of Rob Refsnyder, and that does not fill me with a ton of confidence. Colby.
Yeah, it's hard to say why, based on everything that Rob Refsnyder's done. I don't even know this time. He went 4 for 9 on the last road trip, so he's clearly figured things out. Yeah, this is not great. I mean, the Red Sox are worst team in baseball, at least record-wise, or one of the top 3 or bottom 3, however you want to look at it. They just got swept. They lost a 4-game series. They had to fly across the country with no off day. And now they play a Mariners team who, just took 2 or 3 from in and, is in first place. And somehow it feels like the Red Sox are primed to sweep this series because we know the Mariners are probably going to roll out a lineup that includes both Rob Refsnyder and Connor Joe for the next 3 days at the expense of, Luke Raley, certainly, and maybe Dom Canzone.
Even though Canzone has like three hits against lefties in the last week and a half.
The Mariners lineup is so shattered right now that they might not actually be able to keep Canzone's first real opportunity against lefties might just come because the Mariners literally don't have a choice, which is stupid. But whatever it takes, I guess. But we'll see how that all works out. But we don't know if Julio's going to play. It sounded like they were thinking he was probably going to be able to play today, but we don't know. Obviously, Randy crushes lefties and he's not going to be in there. So Dan Wilson hasn't shown any interest in having both of his catchers in the lineup at the same time. So Garver, who's handled lefties pretty well this year, he's probably only going to get 1 start in this entire series. So it's the lefties really are a problem for the Mariners, and we'll see what happens. But without Refsnyder, to be there to kind of counteract the lefty heavy approach. Don't forget they have Chapman in the bullpen as well. So this does not bode well for the Mariners to score a lot of runs. Ranger Suarez is very good. So
Tully has been great really this year.
Yeah.
Burley's been fine.
Mm-hmm. So they're not in great shape to win this series, but it does feel to me at the very least like this is the last weekend for Rob Refsnyder. It's now or it's get off of my ball club. And I know we should have done that weeks ago and all that, but there's no more excuses, right? This is what you were brought in to do, to hit left-handed pitching. You're going to get 3 starts in a row against left-handed pitching. And after that, we'll be halfway through the year. It's now or never.
Well, and we're no longer at a point where it's a small sample size for him. Last year he had 209 plate appearances with the Red Sox. He has 104 this year. That's not a small sample size relative to his role anymore. No,
it wasn't a small sample size when they said, oh, he's only had 60 plate appearances a month ago. No, that is a third of this season. He's at his halfway mark of the season right now. And we're at game 78, something like that. So yeah, he's right where he should be in terms of, the play time and all that. So this is it, man. Like, if you can't hit now, there's literally no excuse. When Randy comes back, Refsnyder is the move. Like, it really isn't up for debate any longer. And the Mariners have given Rob more than enough time. And the crazy thing is that Rob is talked about all year that he's got kind of this knee problem that he's trying to work through. Why wouldn't you just put him on the IL and then send him on a rehab assignment? And this is it, man. Like, put up or shut up, Rob. Your career is on the line. I don't think anybody's going to claim you if you get DFA'd. Like, you were brought in here to do one thing. You haven't done it at all. You bring no other value to the ball club. You need to have a good series. And it's really simple as that. If you don't have a good series, your career is over. And that would be a sucky way for it to end. And I know Rob's a great dude, and they really like him in that clubhouse. It's about production, man. We're halfway through the year. You have to provide value to this team. And right now, Rob Refsnyder is an anchor. So this is it. This is your shot. There's no excuse. You get 3 starts in a row. You've had some success on the road trip, albeit in a very small sample size. You don't provide any base running value. You don't provide any defensive flexibility or value whatsoever. You have to do this one thing. And if you don't do it with 3 starts in a row, you don't get to be on the roster anymore. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Like, it's time to move on. And Randy should be back. Again, assuming there's no setbacks or anything. I think he can be activated on Tuesday when the team, or Wednesday when the team's in Pittsburgh. So this is it, man. It's now or never. For Rob, and again, sucky way for somebody's career to end because they just suck and nobody wants to take a shot on them. But that's the point we're at. It's now or never. So we'll see what happens. But if Rob was ever going to break out and provide any kind of value whatsoever, this is the weekend to do it. It has to be this weekend, or you have to leave. It really is that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gotten to the point now where I'm like, would Victor Labrada or Spencer Packard be more useful on this roster? And both of those guys are lefties. Like, handedness wise, they don't make any sense for this roster. Yet, like, could Labrada's glove and his speed be more valuable to me right now than what Rob Refsnyder brings? I think you can make a very strong argument for yes.
Plus, you're at the stage now, right, where Victor Robles is back. He's healthy. Is he going to be that much better with the bat? I mean, yeah, because this version of Rob Refsnyder is unplayable, but like, you're going to get speed and defense there and versatility. And then you have, when Randy's back, you'll have Randy and Julio, and then Canzone. Maybe he proves he's a full-time player and he just becomes a full-time DH. But even if he doesn't, even it's like, well, we still want to platoon Canzone with somebody against lefties. Mitch Garver is right there on the bench. Use Mitch Garver. He is better at the role you envision for Rob Refsnyder than Rob Refsnyder. And if Cal has to come out of a game, you just put Garver in the catcher spot, you lose the DH for 4 innings, and you figure it out the next day. It's really not that big of a deal. So, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. So once Randy comes back, I just don't see how Refsnyder survives unless it is literally just because ownership says you can't cut him yet. Like, there's just no way. And I don't believe ownership would make that move in terms of like saying you can't cut that guy. So,
and there were reports during the offseason that Refsnyder was considering retirement before he wound up signing with the Mariners. So I do wonder if maybe he would just retire if he got cut.
He might, but like, at the end of the day, the Mariners need to maximize their roster a little bit here. And yeah, I would much rather have somebody who gives me something. Because like you said, at least Labrada gives me some defense and some speed. Like, he might not hit at all, but neither is Rob Refsnyder, and he's not giving me defense and speed. So I'd rather have that. I'd rather have Ryan Bliss up right now, obviously Johnny Pareda, and just make Garver the new Refsnyder. So yeah, it's not like the Mariners don't have options. As banged up as they are, they have options. And, again, keep an eye on Weston Wilson, who hits lefties pretty well in his major league career and can play, multiple spots around the infield and a little bit in the outfield. Like, that's more valuable than what Rob Refsnyder has to hit lefties, or he has no value whatsoever.
Yeah.
None. And he hasn't done it this year. So again, this is it, man. It's now or it's never.
Yeah. Well, I've seen people say like, oh, he's still around because he can play in the outfield and first base. And clearly the Mariners don't think he can play first base because they didn't have him taking grounders with Miles Mastrobuoni and Mitch Garver the other day. They played Mastroboni over there 2 times while Naylor was out. Mm-hmm. And with the knee thing, I don't think they want to play him in the outfield that much either.
No, it's just, I really don't understand why you wouldn't just place him on the IL. Like, if you really don't want to lose him, put him on the IL. He's been public about the knee problem he's been trying to work through. Put him on the IL, let him rest, and then use that rehab assignment as basically a demotion and see where you're at. And then when the rehab assignment is over, if it doesn't look better, you just DFA him.
Yeah, see if you can figure things out in Tacoma.
Yeah, like the IL is right there, and it's an easy step to make. And maybe that is the step. Maybe when Randy's activated, they just finally go, okay, Rob, the knee thing, like, we got to put you on the IL, and then we'll send you to Tacoma for your rehab assignment. We'll see where we're at. But no, it just, he can't continue to waste space on the major league roster for another.
It's just like, why are you pushing the envelope so much in multiple ways with them?
Yeah, it's just, there's no versatility there. It's just, it's time. It's time now or never, man. It really is. You're out of excuses after this weekend.
The other guy that I'm really fascinated to see in this series is Colt Emerson against these 3 lefties. This is going to be a little bit of a heat check, I think, for Emerson. Going up against these 3 lefties, because he's struggled so far against lefties in his major league career. 136, 269, 364 in his first 26 plate appearances against left-handed pitchers. But obviously he's been off to a fantastic start in general. Now he's slashing 235, 309, 529. That's an 838 OPS. It's a 135 WRC plus. He's been worth almost a full win by Fangraph standards. And I posted this stat last night, that since the turn of the century, only 8 players aged 20 or younger have posted an OPS of 800 or greater over their first 26 games of their career. That would be Jason Hayward, Bryce Harper, Rougned Odor, Carlos Correa, Rafael Devers, Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Colt Emerson.
Rougned Odor is a fine player. Not a star, but he was a pretty good player for a couple of years.
Yeah, he was like a 10-win player. It was just,
it's like a good player for like 6 years.
He was only a 100 WRC plus guy twice in like 10 years, but sure.
Pretty solid player.
He was
like relative to other, he's the worst player on that list, but he's still a solid player.
I guess.
Yeah. So, again, Emerson, I couldn't hit Kyle Bradish. He couldn't hit water. He fell out of a boat on Saturday on Wednesday, but he had the big RBI last night. The at-bats getting a little tricky. It does seem the breaking ball is kind of the new formula here, but against lefties, it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of makes this adjustment against them. He's never struggled enough against them that you would think that he would be a platoon bat, and there's no reason to think he is now. I mean, he's 20 years old facing the best lefties in the world. So there's probably going to be a little bit of a step back there or a learning curve there. But obviously, he's a very talented player. So he'll get 3 starts here. Same with Cole Young. Remember, Cole Young got off to a great start against lefties this year, and he's really slowed down since. Yeah. So we kind of seen those 2 guys in that Orioles series. They had a couple of moments together hitting back to back where they really, provided good at bats and runs and all of that. So those 2 guys combined probably going to be really interesting, especially without Randy. You're going to need one of your lefties to step up and hit these lefties. So we'll see if either of them can do it. Obviously, JP handles lefties just fine. Julio's destroying lefties this year. Naylor, kind of an up and down thing against lefties in his career. So we'll see how it all looks, but you need Rob Refsnyder to step up, and you either need, obviously Julio needs to have a good series, assuming he's playing. And Cal, obviously rough day for him yesterday. But the lefties thing is tough. You just need guys to be better against lefties. And it starts with the guy you paid to literally only do one thing, who, hasn't done it this year. Rob Refsnyder needs to be a factor in the series. It really is that simple.
All right. Well, it is Fan Fiction Friday, so we're going to get into your trades here in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Nutrafol and Gametime. Baseball players are known for their routines, whether it's a lucky jersey, a pregame ritual, or sticking to the same preparation every day. Consistency matters. And when it comes to hair thinning, there can be a lot of products out there making promises, but not always a lot of confidence behind them. That's why more people are looking for solutions backed by real science and trusted experts. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand and the official hair growth partner of Major League Baseball. What really makes Nutrafol stand out is that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's designed to fit into your routine while addressing the root causes of thinning with personalized solutions. I like that Nutrafol acknowledges that everyone's solution is different. Having formulas designed for different stages and needs makes a lot more sense than expecting the same product to work exactly the same for everyone. And when I'm deciding whether to try something new, I want to know there's real research and expertise behind it. Knowing Nutrafol is physician formulated, clinically tested, and NSF certified for sport definitely helps build that confidence. Find out why Nutrafol is the only hair growth supplement brand trusted by MLB. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. There's nothing like watching a Mariners game. Even better when you get to watch it live. The excitement, the fans. The only problem? Getting tickets can feel like a grind. I'm talking long queues, surprise fees, and of course, prices jumping at checkout. That's where there's Gametime. The Gametime app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Gametime guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. So what you see is what you pay, period. The seat views feature is huge. I can see the panoramic view from my exact seat before I buy. And zone deals let me pick the section and save even more while Gametime selects the seat. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats in minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for making us your first listen for all things Mariners. And also thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Don't forget to check out the Everydayer Club for ad-free episodes and access to a group chat with me and other listeners of this show. Tap the link in the description or go to lockedonmariners.supercast.com to learn more. It's Fan Fiction Friday. Let's get into your trades. Texans can't drive. All right. Has a trade here with the Chicago Cubs where the Mariners get Seiya Suzuki for Luis Castillo. Straight up.
Yeah, it's a deal that makes sense. Certainly now, kind of the problem here. Well, let's start here. Why it makes sense. The Cubs need starting pitching badly.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
They have talked apparently openly that we're willing to move Seiya Suzuki, who is a rental. Like you only get him for the rest of this year. And the Mariners obviously need or would like a right-handed hitting outfielder, preferably one who can also play against righties. And Suzuki, while he's not a great player, he's a solid player, solid hitter, can play right field, no problem. Also
Crushing lefties.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
112 WRC plus against righties. Yep.
He's a good fit for Seattle. Luis Castillo, based on what we've seen for the last month or so, he's back. Like he's a good, solid pitcher like he has been for the last couple of years. So I think, just in that vacuum, the Mariners want a right-handed hit bat. The Cubs need starting pitching. The Mariners have a surplus of starting pitching right now, as of today. That could change, but as of right now, they have that surplus pitching. So on that, it all makes sense. The one thing that's a little bit of a X factor here, Luis has that extra year of club control, and it's not a cheap one. It's $24 million or whatever. Plus, there is that option. That vesting option for another $22 million, I think it is, that is based on innings pitched. And 25. The Cubs are going to acquire Luis Castillo. They're going to acquire him as a starting pitcher. So, if the Cubs were to make this trade, they would be taking on probably, at least 20 some odd million dollars, and then probably an additional $20 million at that point. So that's $40 million extra dollars. Are they going to be willing to do that? I don't know. And then at that point, do the Mariners add money? Is there another contract they could take on from the Cubs that makes sense? No, not really. So yeah, it can get pretty messy with the money. And that's where this whole thing kind of, you have to tap the brakes a little bit. On paper, this makes a ton of sense. I think if there wasn't that option year on Castillo's deal as well, they could probably figure out something with the money, and maybe they still do. But like, yeah, this trade makes sense for both sides to some degree, at the very least. Then we've talked about Luis Castillo and the Cubs. Well, not last offseason, but the offseason before quite a bit. And obviously, there's no trade clause.
He was kind of close to being a Cub from everything
by all accounts.
From everything that I had heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was pretty close to happening until Kyle Tucker became available. So, yeah, I think, again, assuming Luis continues to pitch well over the next couple of weeks, assuming the Mariners still have the surplus of starting pitching that they have right now, assuming, say, a Suzuki, obviously, blah, blah, blah. We're assuming it's late July and everything that needs to be assumed is happening, right? Yeah. With all of these. Yeah. I think on paper, 1-for-1 swap makes a lot of sense. The money is where I kind of feel like, I don't know if the Cubs are willing to do that. Do you have to give them another prospect to offset the money, like probably a good one, or do you just will pay for half of next year and you just kind of make that sunk cost, because you're still saving money if you pay for half of Luis's contract next year, and you're saving a little bit of money this year. Not that that matters that much. So yeah, the money makes it a little difficult, but just as the deal's proposed right now, I think that's at least a 50, 55. I mean, it's reasonable for both teams. It's something realistic. There's nothing here to address the money though, and so that's why I don't think it's like any better than that.
I think it's a starting point. I don't think it's a complete trade.
Sure. I think this
is like the skeleton of the trade, but I think it's missing a few bones.
Maybe on both sides too. Maybe the Mariners add somebody, and then like the Mariners, I don't know, they like add, like, just by way of example, like Michael Arroyo, and then the Cubs add like a lesser prospect. You know what I mean? Just to kind of try and make it, because I do think that if you just propose this straight up to the Cubs would be like it's fine, but no, we think we're taking too much of a risk here on this trade.
Well, and the Cubs, while they're certainly willing to spend more money than the Mariners are, they've also been hesitant to spend a ton of money. And so I do wonder if, for all the money that you mentioned on specifically Luis Castillo, like, yeah, they need pitching, but do they want Castillo with all the money that's attached to him? So how much are you going to have to pay that down if you're the Mariners, or how much are you going to have to give up in addition to Castillo to make it work for the Cubs? That's really my question there. So again, I think this is the starting point. This is the focal point of the trade. Sure, you have that down, but it does need to be fleshed out more to address some of the other questions, the very important questions that come with this. I think in general, Castillo for Suzuki swap works though. So yeah, I'll give you a 50.
Yeah, I think it's a 50. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Like, if this exact trade happened, just this 1-for-1, and there was like no money or anything, I wouldn't be shocked. But I think the Cubs are going to want something to take on that contract. It's probably just money going back to the Cubs. But we'll see. I don't know the Cubs payroll well enough. I don't know if there's any prospects or any like big contracts that they might want to get rid of to kind of try and even out the money a little bit. And maybe they just want to trade Suzuki for prospects and then use the prospects they get to try and go out and get a different starting pitcher. But yeah, overall in general, based on all the info we have right now, it's at least a 50. Yeah.
All right, we'll go over more of your trades in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Odoo and KALSHI. Running a business shouldn't feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them talk to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together in one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everyone working towards the same goal. goal. And that's true in sports just like it is in business. You know, when we're talking about the Mariners, we talk about how they have the same philosophy at the majors as they do all the way down at the lower levels of the minors. Even with all these different factions, the organization itself is one. They have a vision, they stick to it, and last season showed us what's possible when everyone is working from the same playbook. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/LOCKEDON. Baseball season is here, and now you can trade every game on KALSHI. Tomorrow night, Seattle is trading at 55% to beat Boston, meaning a $100 trade pays out $176 if they win. On KALSHI, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the KALSHI app and use the promo code LOCKEDON, that's LOCKEDON, to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, KALSHI. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, we have a Patreon. It's called Control the Zone. And on there, we talk Mariners, we talk Seahawks, all that good stuff. For more information, go to patreon.com/control the zone. Link in the description of this episode. All right, next trade here from Ham Swaggerty 69. It's a deal with the Marlins in which Miami gets Corbin Dickerson and Brock Rodden from the Mariners for right-handed reliever Lake Bocker.
This is an interesting one. Bocker, guy didn't know much about, looked him up. Under 40 degree arm slot. Mariners typically like that. He's got 2+ breaking balls. And a fastball that's fine. Like, the fastball is interesting. Like, opponents are hitting under 200 against it, but they're slugging, I think, almost 500 against it. And it's a super high spin rate fastball too. So there is some value. There's not a ton of velo behind it. It's about 95 miles an hour. But yeah, this is interesting. You know, 2 separate breaking balls, both of them plus a useful fastball, a decent splitter. And this is a guy who's got 4 years of club control. Now, he's also 31 years old.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you how much you think that matters.
Yeah. I think a little bit, because if you're the Marlins, you're going to say this guy's got 4 years of club control, and he's at least, you know, a mid-high leverage guy right now.
He's been like he's pitched like a 7th inning guy.
Yeah, he's like a 7th inning guy, and so yeah, they're going to be like, hey, he's got 4 years left of this, and if you're the Mariners, you're probably going to be like, well, yeah, it's 4 years of a number of like a 7th inning guy, not a closer or anything, not a
and he's 31.
Yeah. And he's 31 years old. The odds that we see all 4 of those years.
He's only done this
small.
really once.
Right. I mean, last year he was fine. This year he's popped though more. And again, the odds that we see him, you know, play out 4 full years in Seattle are very slim, because he's a reliever, and obviously there's arbitration and all that. And plus the new CBA, maybe players get free agency after 5 years. And so we actually are only trading for 3, and maybe we don't want to tender him in that last year. So maybe it's only 2, blah, blah, blah. So it's a tough guy to gauge value for. Plus the Marlins are kind of still in the playoff hunt a little bit.
Yeah. They're also using Bocker as an opener.
Yes.
They're using him as an opener tonight, actually.
Bocker can go multiple innings as well. So there is this is a good pitcher, like a good, valuable pitcher. He's not, you know, he's not a daddy. Maybe he becomes one, but I think it's not too dissimilar, honestly, from where you were looking at Ferrer when you acquired him, where it's like, yeah, the tools are there for him to really explode and be that guy, but he hasn't really done it, like, statistically all that much. So I think if I'm the Marlins, I don't think I'm making this trade yet. Now, if they lose, you know, if they a month from now, they're, you know, 12 games under 500, like, okay, let's have a conversation. But right now, I don't know. I think if I'm the Marlins, I'm like, give me Luke Raley. I need outfield help. Like, I need outfield help. And Raley's got 2 years at least. He's going to help me at the major league level right now. And he keeps me alive in the playoff race. Now, again, if they fade further back, then prospects probably work. And for, 4 years of a seventh, I think you probably need a little bit better headliner than Corbin Dickerson. But I don't think we're talking about like Feldman Celestin, not for Bocker, not for who he is right now, not for who he's been. But I think we're talking pretty decent. I think you need like 2 Dickersons, would be my guess.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, give us Michael Arroyo.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see that. Arroyo's kind of a polarizing prospect. Some teams apparently love him. We heard as late as last summer that some teams had Arroyo as like a top 20 prospect in baseball. And some teams don't have him in the top 100 at all because they don't know where he's going to play defense.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I could see that. But
now Rayleigh could, depending on what the Mariners do at the deadline, and if they do add a significant bat to their,
like say a Suzuki.
If they add, say, a Suzuki, that's what I was about to say. Is like if they add, say, a Suzuki, then maybe Rayleigh makes sense here to flip him for a reliever. Now, is Bocker specifically the guy that I want to trade Luke Rayleigh for? That's kind of a whole other discussion.
Sure, but it's the guy we're talking about now. So would you trade Rayleigh for Bocker if you had a full-time right fielder?
I think that's kind of the idea that we've talked about. Is like, hey, if you make it where Rayleigh or Canzone kind of becomes expendable, and we've got asked if, who we would rather keep between the two, we would rather keep Canzone. I still feel that way a couple weeks later after getting asked that. So yeah, if I was going to trade Rayleigh, it would probably be for a high leverage reliever. Bacher has been a high leverage reliever this year. He's performed like it. I'd probably try and look for better than Bacher.
Sure,
but if the Mariners traded Luke Rayleigh for Lake Bocker, I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't be doing backflips, but I'd be. No,
it's like, okay, it's solid so long as you have acquired that outfielder to replace him, like a full-time outfielder. Otherwise, if you're just going to go get another platoon bat, I'd rather just keep Luke Rayleigh and try and find a prospect for a reliever trade, like you proposed here. So
if you get, say, a Suzuki, or I'd feel more comfortable if you got someone with more club control, because you are trading multiple years of club control with Rayleigh. But
I don't think Rayleigh's going to be on this team next year either way. So
I would be able to make peace with a deal like this, though, like involving Rayleigh.
I think it'd be fine. Yeah. I think your proposal right now, as it sits,
I think it's 40,
45, somewhere in that range.
I think it's a 40, because I think even if the Marlins were a clear seller, I don't think this would get it done. I think it's just short of the mark. I think it's close, but I think it's short of the mark. And then you add in the fact that the Marlins are like the hottest team in baseball right now, and they're in the wild card mix and all that. So they might be looking more so for major league talent in return. So I think I'm at a 40.
They do have some bullpen depth. Anthony Bender's we've got a couple trades on Anthony. I don't know if we have one this week or not. But anyways, I
think we do actually. Yeah.
If the trade was Luke Rayleigh for Bocker, what would you give that?
55.
I think it's like a 50. I'm sure the Marlins would be like, well, we want Canzone. And it's like, okay, well, no. But they do need outfield help. Their outfield production, I think, is 28th in baseball this year, and Stowers missed a good chunk of the year. So obviously, that's part of it. But they need outfield help. So I do think
that's the other thing too. They are very left-handed heavy in their outfield, like the Mariners are. So I don't even know if Rayleigh would work for them. So.
Yeah, maybe not. But I do think like a very good strong side.
But again, this is the idea.
Right. Yeah, I think getting a 7th inning guy with multiple years of club control is a pretty good price tag to put on Luke Rayleigh. Again, if they've acquired his replacement.
Our next trade here on Fan Fiction Friday comes from Ryan. Taylor Ward for Brock Moore, 1-for-1 with the Baltimore Orioles. I think this is close. There probably needs to be a little bit more bulk from the Mariners, but kind of comparing this to the Josh Naylor trade, the Eugenio Suarez trade, that's
the comp. It's
about in the ballpark. Yeah. It just probably needs another extra piece or two of not significant consequence, but
not junk either.
No, not just here's Jared Sundstrom and some other stuff that I don't want.
No. It's probably Corbin Dickerson, Brock Moore. I think that's pretty close. Now Dickerson, again, polarizing prospect. Mariners have a couple of those guys. But just somebody in that range, I think is probably a couple of those guys. Like, again, who's the Tyler Locklear in this trade? It might be Brock Moore. So
I'm not sure if there needs to be a Tyler Locklear in this specific trade because, Ward's getting on base a ton, but he's not having a year anywhere close to Eugenio Suarez. And he also doesn't play a premium position like Suarez did. Locklear was the Suarez trade. Naylor was Izzy and Garcia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Basically the same trade. So maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's somebody. It's Christian Little, maybe like somebody like that. Maybe it's a little better. Maybe it's Nicky Becker. Maybe I don't know, but whatever. I think you're in the right ballpark for like a starting range. So I'll give you like a 45. I think you're a piece short, but I do think that like if you could get like 2 Brock Moores, whoever that second piece is, I think you're really in the game here. But also right-handed bats are going to be at a premium this summer, and Ward's going to be one of the better ones, so it might cost you a little bit more than Naylor did last year, but we'll see. Overall, I think you're in the ballpark of like a decent starting point, but I think it's going to cost a little more. So I'd say 45.
I'll go 50. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not sure what the second piece would be. Maybe it would have to be Mason Peters. Yeah, it might. For how much Ward would likely help me. Yeah, I'd be fine with trading Mason Peters in that deal.
And I think Ward, like Suzuki, is another bat where you would be like, okay, now we can explore trading Luke Raley for another piece here that helps us. So, again, not that I want to trade Luke Raley, but if that's the best avenue you can go down, you have to consider it. So I'd still say 45.
Next trade here from Sonito. Mariners get Anthony Bender from the Marlins for Mason Peters and Jared Sundstrom.
We've talked about. Now I'm blanking on his name. Yeah, Anthony Bender quite a bit on the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've probably talked about Anthony Bender more than any show on the Locked On Network, except maybe Locked On Marlins.
Probably. Yeah.
Sundstrom.
It's a great name for a reliever.
It is, and especially when his like primary pitch is a sweeper. Like great name.
It's no Chief Bender, but it's close.
It's good. It's good. Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention this. Bocker, he's got great hair. But also B, his Twitter handle is the 6th Great Lake. So it's a pretty cool guy too.
Nice.
Again, not to be disrespectful to Jared Sundstrom, he's worthless. Like he brings no value to the trade like this.
I see him too much in these trades. I see Sundstrom and I see McGraw too much.
Yeah. Like McGraw might be like I don't know what comes after a tertiary piece. What's the 4th piece called? But maybe like a lottery ticket fine. But like I think it's probably because Sundstrom and McGraw are still like ranked pretty high, I think, in pipeline. And it's like, so what? Like they don't have value. Sundstrom has been bad this year. Pretty sure he's like 26 years old. Like
last time I checked, he had a 60 WRC plus in AA at 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, like no, he's just not worth anything in this trade. So right there, you're in trouble. Who was the other?
He's 24, but he has a 67 WRC plus at AA.
Yeah.
So,
and then the other piece was who?
Mason Peters, which that's fine.
Yeah. I still think Peters is good enough. Again, if the Marlins are truly selling right in July, I think Peters is enough to carry that deal. So even though I think Sundstrom is pointless and honestly worthless in trade talks, I still think, honestly, it might be a little bit of an overpay to give up Mason Peters for Bender. But Bender's pretty good. He's pretty darn good.
Bender's having a really good year.
Yeah, and he's pretty darn good.
And you get him next year as well. So
I think I'm going to give this trade, even with the extra piece that's totally unnecessary, I'm still going to give it a 50, 55. Like I think it's reasonable. Again, assuming the Marlins are actually selling.
Yeah.
Which we don't know right now, but obviously we have to assume a lot of things if we're going to do Fan Fiction Friday on June 19th.
Yeah, 50 to 55. That's where I'm at as well.
I think you're in the ballpark.
Final trade of the day comes from Sohn, where the Mariners get Matt Verling and Will Vest for Nicky Becker, Teddy McGraw, and Tyler Cleveland. And as Sohn mentions, Verling hasn't been great, but has decent numbers against lefties. He was one of the right-handed platoon bats that I had on my list that we went over a couple of weeks ago.
Play the
And
outfield,
you can
play some third.
you can play multiple spots. So yeah, I like the Verling fit with the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty much Nicky Becker having to carry the whole package, though.
Yeah, and
like,
Vest
again,
has a year after this year too, right?
Yeah, I just don't know how much trade value Teddy McGraw has, if at all,
Probably
right now,
none.
just because of how little he's been available in his pro career. And then Tyler Cleveland is what, 27 years old.
Yeah,
and
he's
and he's struggling right now. So
Verling, I think, is a free agent after this year. I think he's a rental, but Vest has a year after this year. So I think you need, again, maybe the Tigers love Nicky Becker. I doubt it. I think to get both of these guys, I think you need to add like a Michael Arroyo. So I think you're probably looking at something like Arroyo and Peters, maybe something like that.
what did you say on the clip control?
On Verling?
Yeah.
Or I think he's a free agent after this year.
No, you get him for next year as well. You get both of these guys for next year.
Yeah, and then Vest I knew had another year left. So yeah, Becker's not going to get it done as the headliner of this trade.
No. And like Vest, like, yeah, he's got the 6.45 ERA, but he also has a 3.68 FIP. The strikeouts are pretty much in line with his career norms. He's walking more guys than usual. He's giving up more home runs than usual right now, but
he's still worth more. I think this is where Michael Arroyo comes into play.
Yeah.
I think Arroyo is a pretty good fit here. And then again, I don't know what the secondary piece is. Maybe it's a Brock Moore. Mason Peters might be a little bit of an overpay as a secondary piece. Maybe Nicky Becker's a secondary. I don't know. I doubt the Mariners want to sell low on Nicky Becker.
Maybe it's Nicky Becker and Mason Peters.
Maybe it still feels a little light. I think Vest is going to have some suitors. And then Verling, again, there's a shortage of right-handed bats. And Verling is a right-handed bat and a pretty good one, especially against lefties. So I think it's going to cost you a little something. I think Michael Arroyo has to be involved here, but I like the idea of Verling and Vest, certainly. And we just talked about how everybody's throwing Teddy McGraw into trades, but nobody's thrown Nicky Becker into trades yet. So good on you for bringing a new name into the conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
I think you're on the right track. I just think you're underpaying a little bit too much here. So I'd probably say 40.
Yeah, I'm at a 40 as well.
Yeah.
All right, that is going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And once again, if you never miss an episode, it's time to make it official. Join the Locked On Everyday Club and get ad-free audio, access to our members-only Discord, and more, all built for our most loyal fans. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.